What up? What's good? What's good? What's good, my G's? It is I, your boy Snow of ignorantgamers.com. Welcome back to another, I don't know even what to call this right now, but basically, I just want to get right into it. Actually, you know what? First off, thank you guys for being subscribed to us. We appreciate everybody who gives us a chance. If you're not subscribed, I'm just going to ask you right now to do it. Give us about maybe 10 uploads, and if you're unsatisfied, you'll probably hear this message again, and then you can, unsubscribe. Yeah, we'll take it from there. But for those of you who don't know, I am the PlayStation voice on this channel. I do PS4, I do PS3. I also have a 360 and a One. My boy RZA, he's more of the Xbox voice. He has the X1, he has the 360, and he has the 3. Doesn't have the 4 in his house just yet. And again, for you guys who are new to the channel, don't know anything about how our dynamic is set up, I may prefer PlayStation. I love all the gaming, except for handheld gaming, troll. But I'm more about the consumer. So this conversation right here is going to have me sounding a little bit more on a different angle than people would expect someone that says, oh, he's PlayStation would do. First off, what I'm talking about is the Xbox One decided to remove the Kinect starting June or something like that. Excuse me real quick, as one of these annoying sounds in my home decided to butt in. Alright, keeping it gangster. I'm not in and out. I keep it G. G stands for gamers, by the way. So, now, the reason why I say that this is kind of a bad thing, and it has more to do with innovation inside of technology, just comes from the technology side, the gadget person inside of me. I have the X1. I'm looking at it right now as I'm recording this. I still have the plastic on top of the Kinect to block the view of the Kinect because I don't trust the Kinect. In fact, I go as far as to unplug the Xbox whenever I'm not using it, just because you never know, right? The same thing goes to the PS4 camera. I have that too, and it's unplugged. If I'm not using it, it's unplugged. Now, here's the thing. The PlayStation 4 might have pulled a fast one on Microsoft at E3 when they decided to say, yo, we're coming in at 400 after Xbox was like, yo, we at 500. And people suspect that the camera was supposed to be bundled inside, and they removed the camera to come in low. And the thing is, they probably would have been overcharging because the camera, they would have charged us $100 for that PlayStation 4 camera to put it at $499, which is, people was expecting them to be about $500 anyway. Market says $400, but people was expecting them $500. I mean, look what they did with the PS3. That shit was crazy overpriced. Anyway, leading up to the launch of the Xbox One, Microsoft had to get on their heels. They had to start backpedaling. They had to start addressing the trolls, people who were never really going to buy the system in the first place. If you look at Ramon's video, Uncle RZA's video on his channel, he says it a couple of times on his offline videos. Like, you guys are on the internet complaining about the internet. And for me, I am a gamer first. I don't care about all the extra stuff. It better play the games goddamn well if I'm buying a console. PC conversation is removed from this entire conversation, right? So, okay, the PS4 came in at 100, removed the camera. 100 less, removed the camera. Then the Xbox had to remove the feature where, I could basically digitally let my friend hold a game with the whole DRM thing, right? And always needed to be online every 24 hours just to check and see, and and you guys, you can argue either way. So me getting the X1, I didn't want to deal with the Kinect. And let me tell you, as someone who records games on both consoles, and I actually had a DVR, obviously, a game recorder, obviously, saying Xbox, record that. Xbox, snap party, Xbox unsnap party, Xbox go to Forza Motorsport 5. Those commands read loud and clear, my friends. Those commands save me from pressing a button, going up to a screen, selecting it, getting back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, those things save time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Now, the PlayStation, a lot of people don't know, you don't need the camera to use the certain voice commands, you know, but the voice commands are triggered by the controller, which people don't know. In some cases, you don't need it to do it, but with the Kinect, you know, you just say it and it happens, you know. There are some cases where you could say PlayStation, wait, and then you give it, but it's not as let's just be real. Like, the Kinect 1 for the 360 got a head start on this, and this was built into the experience. Now, let's keep it extra 100. Yes, as a person who games, I can tell you right now, the motion controls are absolutely not practical when it comes to gaming. There is nothing that you can really do to really sell someone on the visual camera part being used as a part of your experience. Now, if Nintendo did it, I would say yes, because Nintendo's always been family friendly and made games that could easily include that stuff into it. And I'm looking at Mario, and I'm looking at all the party games and all that other stuff. PlayStation has a good mixture of family and then core. And just keeping it extra 100, you guys know yourselves on the Xbox One. I mean, on the Xbox environment, you guys do not have that set up. You try, you got some in there, but no one really looks to you guys for that value. Your value comes through entertainment, 100% entertainment. You know, you guys do the games, you guys do streaming, and then, you know, stuff like that. And then you got the Windows 8.1 baked in there to go with your phone, etc., etc., etc. So that everyone needs to play to their strongest niche. What happens now with removing this Kinect is you send a bad message to your vision. Now you devalue not the people who bought the Xbox One as is, because I don't care. I have it. I understand what it's used for. $100 difference didn't make any difference to me, not because, you know, my job was in good standing, etc. No. I'm saying, if you had to decide, if you guys, first off, I've been saying there's no reason in 2014, at least the first year of these consoles, to buy one. You could have waited to Christmas, not the first Christmas that it was out, but the second Christmas. You could buy it maybe this Christmas, or, you know, maybe June of next year, 2015. So you could have saved your money up, and $100 wouldn't have mattered. Trust me on this. If you're gonna buy a console, buy it for the games that you like to play. Make a decision on the games that you like to play if you're buying for that purpose. Now, getting back to this conversation, the vision for the Xbox One to me is a little bit tainted, because now it's just a little less appealing to me. Now you have to deliver on games. They could be banking on this. I really do think that Microsoft is banking on this. Microsoft could really have some AAA first party games up their sleeve, and I think Sony should worry about that. And I don't say that as trying to throw, you know, fire, throw more gasoline into the fire. I say it because Sony has done a great job of having a good start right now with the PlayStation 4's launch. They are actually ahead. They're way ahead of what they thought. Both consoles are actually doing well. It's just that the PS4 is doing exceptionally well, higher than they anticipated. And who knows for sure? Is it really the $100 gap that did this? Because if anything, I was thinking that most X1 people, at most Xbox 360 people, would have just bought an X1. Same thing with the PS3 to PS4. The swing voters are going to be the people who are earning, the people who are being earned to switch over between the day it dropped, which is the hype, to Christmas of this year, 2014. Now, getting back to removing this, for someone that is a swing voter, right? Now where do they go? Do they now jump in on this Xbox One because the the Kinect is no longer there? And again, gaming is about option, it's about choice. Competition is great, but the overall movement of what the vision, the goal, and the value of the Xbox One to me is just dropped, because as I just gave credit to Xbox, I have to also take it away because there's history when we come to this gaming thing. You know, I've said for years, when the Dreamcast died, Microsoft should have just threw any amount of money to secure Sega IPs. Yes, it's a smart move that Sega didn't do it, especially for me being a Sega fan and I was not buying an Xbox. But it's a bad move that Microsoft didn't do it, because I knew they would need something other than Halo and Gears of War and then Fable. You know, these games, and now they have Killer Instinct and a bunch, but these, and they bought Rare, but what did they ever do with Rare? What did they ever do with Crash Bandicoot? Like, nothing ever came out of this. I mean, you could pick any generation of PlayStation and name the exclusives that did well just for that generation, just for the PS1, just for the PS2, just for the PS3. And let me tell you, if that history doesn't scare you enough, you don't know what they're going to do with the PS4. What new games they're going to bring out. I mean, so far right now, the only two confirmed that we can actually talk about is The Order, which is coming out soon, and Drive Club, which is coming out in October. Those are two new IPs. You know? We don't know what they're going to do. They both look good. They both got only Drive Club got a controversy behind it. So, if you look at it, people always say, Sony, where are the games? I'm not going to get into that argument here, because actually, the PS4 actually has more games than the X1 right now, which is the funniest thing ever. But that goes with asterisks, and I know some of my Xbox hating ass friends and my PlayStation hating ass friends want to have that conversation, so I'm going to let you guys have it. But when it comes down to what's exclusive per console, if we're going to remove, which here's one of the asterisks, if we remove the indie games, you know, right now, exclusive to Xbox and not PC, or actually, no, we can't even make that rule in it. Exclusive AAA games, I guess. You know, you got the Dead Rising 3, you got the Rise, you got the Titanfall, you got the Plants vs. Zombies, which nobody likes to talk about, you know. And you got that Max game, which is a nice little game in there, versus, you know, Knack, MLB The Show, you know, what's the other one? Killzone, and I think there's like maybe two others in there. It escapes my mind right now, because these are not games that I want to play anyway. And a lot of people talk that shit on the other side, but ask them how many of those games that they actually play. Oh, I forgot Killer Instinct too, right? Which also makes it appealing. And I did not leave out Forza, because Drive Club was supposed to have been met by Forza. So where are you bringing this value to? You're going to E3, you're trying to win back the gamers now. These core and these casual gamers don't want the Kinect, so they want you to drop $100 so they can be competitive with the PlayStation. These are your consumers, but in my opinion, I would have held out longer. The race, you said it yourselves, Microsoft. Again, you're backtracking. You would never sell an Xbox without the camera. And if any of you know technology and you know children are the best to adopt technology in this age range. Anyone born from 1979, and I'm being nice with that number, anyone older than that, from 1979 to about 1990, right? We are the video game is cool generation. It wasn't about geeks, it wasn't about nerds. We are that it's not about any of that, because we stopped that. We are the parents now. We introduced the video games to our children. We introduced the video games to our little brothers and sisters, our nephews, our nieces. We control that. So when we popping them out, we're putting them, we putting it in their hands. Now, when I was a young kid, cell phones was the big new thing. I had an older brother, but he knew how to make the phone calls. I knew how to operate the phone. Same thing happened with my nephew and my little cousin, Man, he knew how to use a Windows, wait for it, 98 computer. He wasn't even 4. He knew how to log in, he knew how to password, open up this, that, and the third. Like, he knew how to use it. Same thing is going to happen right now. The young adopts the technology first. That would have been an amazing thing for just that. You get them while they're kids, you know, like they used to try to sell us cigarettes when we was kids. You get them while they're kids, and everything will just move smoothly forward from there. Again, Dance Central 3 is something. Dance Central period is probably the best thing you're going to get when it comes to using the Kinect. I don't care what anyone says. Screw you, Xbox fitness dudes, etc. Like, it is what it is. There's nothing more fun than dancing without a controller. I don't care what you say, right? Now, to bring this all back, if you guys are reneging on everything and it appears like you are adhering to the consumers, I don't think that's right, because a lot of these people are not your consumers. If you was going to remove it, like you said you never would, I would have waited till we redid the bundle. Remember, Microsoft, you said it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's a little bit what Sony used to say, right? And yes, console boys, the Wii oversold everybody, and the PS3 beat the Xbox 360 in sales of consoles. And that's after the 360 had a year start, after all the red rings and people not only sending them back but going out to buy a new console. We're not even going to get into that, right? So eventually PlayStation 3 caught up and did the damn thing. Eventually the Xbox One will catch up, or even it up, or bring the number closer. I would have stuck to my guns. I would have stuck to my guns for a little bit longer. The gap can't be that big. I mean, what's the third thing everybody's buying? People still not buying the Wii U. And to me, the Wii U, if we're going to a value, even though it's not producing as many games as it should within its first year lifespan, but as of right now, it has the lowest price with the best innovation when it comes to gaming. And there's library games. If you was to buy into it right now, you have a plethora of games to do that'll hold you out until E3 come, when they deliver Smash. You know? And Mario Kart's coming. So, you know, it's just that weird thing. Like, you didn't really need to jump right now because it's still within the first. We're only 6 or 7 months out of your console. Now, if they're playing a numbers game, then you want to sell consoles, my man. Drop the hammers. Halo should have been ready. You had Forza ready, but I told RZA, Forza should have came out on that Forza on the 360. There's a reason why the 360 is a drought. 3 of those games that are running on the Xbox One right now were originally spec'd for the 360. Let's not get stupid here. We're gonna play a spade a spade. Let's keep it 100. You know. And I agree with whoever's in that one person that's probably watching the video. Yeah, I agree. I think Knack could have ran on the PS3. I do believe that. Because if you've seen Puppeteer is amazing. And I think Puppeteer is a better game than Knack. But we're not going to go there either. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys don't have heavy hitters, because you're not going to be able to sell us. Okay. They got 2 other games. They got that Q5 or Q4 or D4, whatever. And then they got the game by, not Sucker Punch, Insomniac, that looks like a fake zombie Infamous. You know, with all the colors in it. It's a very beautiful looking game. And Infamous was out too. I forgot the name of Infamous. It's not my style of game, so I don't really care for it. So, you know, you got that. That's another exclusive. They're gonna have to deliver a slew of them, because at the end of the day, PlayStation 4, when it comes to exclusives that are coming from Sony, man, they took a whole generation off of games that we just ain't heard nothing about. And I start from the top with Cypher and Filter. You know, if they wanted to get funny, they could use Parappa the Rapper to resell some stuff. You know, and I'm just being funny by saying Parappa the Rapper, but if you look into that catalog, I mean, you know, we got the Colossus game, the Shadow of Colossus, and there's 3 other ones in there that have not been delivered. And let's not forget Agent from Rockstar, which was a promised game, the PS3, still has not been delivered. They can't even talk about that game, to be honest with you, PlayStation, because Rockstar probably has full control over how that game is spoken about, and no one's heard anything about it. And I doubt that they just gonna let it fall off the radar, because to me, maybe Watch Dogs are probably allow Agent to actually come out and be exclusive to the P4. So to me, dropping that one so quickly, I really don't think it's that, because if that was the case, Titanfall bundle, which the bundle I jumped on, would have sold more consoles. The game sold. The bundles did not. It didn't sell that many consoles. And I already knew that wasn't going to work, because you failed once you put it on the 360. And it made sense to me why I would go on the 360. My beef was, and it will always be, I have 2 beefs with Titanfall. One, it's overhyped. And you can't hype a game because it works. Shout out to Battlefield for not working, right? Number 2, it's a great start for something to build upon. But it wasn't worth locking out because of so-called cloud technology. Because it's running on the 360. Okay, what you say. If it's running on the 360, it could have ran on a PS3, bare minimum. Be a hater. Don't sell it. Don't let it rock on a PS4. Be a hater. Man up. Be a hater. But don't tell me it can't run when the PlayStation 3 is more powerful on. It's more powerful than... Sorry, I had to read this text. It was more powerful than the 360. And don't give me that coding crap, because we already know it's running on a source engine. And come on, these are the guys that build Call of Duty. You don't think they got the twerks? They don't know how to twerk and tweak this shit out already? Let's stop that right before we even start that. You get what I'm saying? So, is it really the price? Was it really the price? I just think that you guys are worried about the margin versus what you said, the marathon. What else? I tell you what was the best thing about that comeback. That comeback, the best thing about it was they also removed the paywall. That is the best thing, because when I have to argue people about what was better, Xbox or PlayStation, which I don't really care about either one to argue is the best. The best is whatever you decide to play and you like to spend your money on, because if we get really technical, PC is just the best, and Nintendo. So shut up. It's about time. It's about time that now I no longer have to go to wait for Christmas to pull up Twitter and type in Xbox Live ran out. Because when I do that every Christmas, every New Year's, every Valentine's Day, and the slew of people say, "Oh man, I gotta buy a new one, man. I just used my 30-day trial," or blah 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 blah. It's the funniest shit to me ever. Or because it runs out every year. So that's the funniest thing to me. There's never a time where I cannot pull up tweets about that. Yo, I gotta go. I can't watch Netflix because my Xbox Live ran out. That is the stupidest shit. Shout out to Nintendo Wii. And then shout out to the PlayStation 3. The paywall for using apps of services that you're already paying for. It's the funniest shit ever. And you guys were okay with that. But, you know, that to me was the best of that. So, alright. E3 is going to be an amazing time for those who own an Xbox One. There's no real hype behind PlayStation right now for E3. Only because we know they have to bring it, but they're not teasing anything. There's been leaks for Microsoft, which I think they might be a publicity stunt, which I would make, if I was doing some marketing over there, I would make that a publicity stunt. Even if none of those games were true, I'd just be funny about it and leak my own shit. You know, what's the other thing about E3? I mean, they have things out right now that just consistently saying E3, 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 we're back to gaming, we're back to gaming. And that what's so funny about that is they were never not about gaming. That press thing that they did to announce the Xbox was just for the investors to deal with the TV and the cable thing. Shout out to Ramon. He's been saying that from day one, and I agree when I watched it. You know, it's just that the gaming media was helping in the trolls. They're just helping fuel that, oh my god, it's over for Xbox. They're not about games. And again, to this day, and I'm the PlayStation head, if you look at the list, if we remove games that are multi-platform, you know, they got a lot of games up there that the PlayStation just does not have, that are not indie titles, you know. And Plants vs. Zombies, that game is probably dead on the Xbox already. Had that been a PlayStation game, it'd be still rocking because we play stuff like that. Which is why I also think that the other game by Insomniac isn't going to do too well, or Sucker Punch, whoever those dudes are. Like I said, the fake Infamous game with the fake zombies in it, like whatever that game is, PlayStation people play shit like that. What they should do and should have done was work on a Crackdown or another prototype, or just make prototype exclusive. But yeah, that's all I got for this. Anyway, like I said, new subscribers, give us about 10 videos. My boy Ramon's probably going to respond to everything I just said just now. So be ready for him to go in with a roast. And, you know, leave your comments on what you think, man. This is just me rambling about it. And, yeah, your boy Snow, Ignorant Gamers, I'm out. Subscribe. Love us, like us, hate us. Doesn't matter. Just leave some goddamn feedback. One.